I've been with APB for, I think it's the last 6 months nearly now, that I've been with. I've actually been following you guys on Facebook and search you on the internet for quite a while, and every now and again I did buy one of your smaller, shorter courses, just to see what's the kind of information you have there and if it had any value in it. Obviously, I'm here with you now on the bigger deal. I did find value in it, and all the bits and pieces that I did pick up along the way up till this point, pretty much impressed with that information. It was all stuff that I could use. My history is about, as everybody can hear, I'm from South Africa, but I've been living in New Zealand for the last 19 years. I started off my training here at a very late age in my life as an apprentice builder, and I started my own building company in 2005. And the main idea in the beginning was, because I did soon realize it's not that easy and that simple to be a proper builder, to be a professional builder. So my aim was, in the beginning of my beginning of my own company, was to just get as much experience as possible. So I mainly focused on doing maintenance type of work for commercial buildings. I did a little bit on residential stuff, but I was mainly focusing on commercial stuff so I can get bigger pictures, a better understanding of bigger structures as well. I did serve its purpose for a while, and then I discovered it wasn't quite that I wanted to do, in the sense that the challenges weren't really there. I then started working on residential stuff, did some add-ons, smaller add-ons, lots of bathrooms, kitchens, and then slowly I started working again up to new builds. But unfortunately, the market in Auckland has changed a lot, in the sense that land has become a lot less available. And so I was gently forced, and also due to market demands, into doing more additions, adding on to houses and renovating the house. That allowed me to sort of get into the renovation addition scene. And it wasn't bad at all. To be quite honest, I think most of my learning I did was when I started doing reclads, to see how the house functioned with everything, with the building standards that we do have in New Zealand. And that was a pretty good school where I could see how our building methods work in New Zealand. The only downside was to all this, I had all the practical theory. I can basically build anything I can dream of. The only issue was that the marketing. I'm not strong on marketing at all. I prefer to deal with timber and not much with people. However, if I did wanted to grow my business, and this is something that I started to think about the last 3 years now, to actually see if I can grow my business into something substantial. It is a personal challenge. Some people would say, well, what does it mean to grow your business? Well, to me, it's just something, it's a personal challenge I have, because basically when I came from South Africa to New Zealand, I just said, look, I just want a low-key work. I don't want to stress out. I don't want to do anything that's going to be too much challenging. I'll just go with the flow. But yeah, then at some point, as I said, about 3 years ago, I woke up one morning and said, no, I'm going to die if I keep on doing this. So yeah, and I've took on a challenge to see how big and how effective and profitable I can make my business at this stage. And this is what I'm working on. And since then, I've literally been looking on the internet, on YouTube, wherever I can find information on how to market, how to grow business, specifically construction businesses. And I've been searching in America, I've been looking in Europe, I've been looking in New Zealand, I've been looking in Australia. And yeah, in the end, the information that bits and pieces info that I did pick up along the way, ABB did make the most sense of what I wanted to do. And they were making the noises that I wanted to hear. That's why and how I ended up with talking to you people. I've had some systems in the past that I started developing, and admittedly, I did have a business coach prior to you that did give me some information. And I'm just going to say with that, it's not, the guy is not bad, but as I said, he gave me some information. Well, when I started with APP, I sort of, because I'm in a big hurry. I want to get things done and want to get it done 5 weeks ago. So I started basically the moment that I signed up with you. I went through all everything that's available online for me that I can go through. Basically, when I'm driving through Auckland, I've got APP on my radio full time, in the morning, in the afternoon, every spare moment I get. Just keep on going through all the things that you've recorded and that you've posted online. I just, every time I listen to it, I might not be focusing 100% on it, but I keep on picking up new things that I can use. Sometimes when I do listen to the stuff that you guys provide, it gives me the opportunity to just rethink what I've been thinking up to this stage. And it's just like every now and again, you just get a little, I get some more information that I can tweak up something. By no means is my systems that I've started working on perfect. I mean, I've got a great coach in Andy Skada there. The guy is really good. I really appreciate him. And together with the guidance that he's giving me, he's slowly trying to, keep me in line, keep in place with the program, and don't try to outrun everybody and everything. So he does pull me back so I can, do things proper and get them in line the way that I should do. But yeah, I still break free and run wild every now and again. Actually, most of the times. The good thing is with your coaches is they really do help. Sit down, think again, and rework the stuff and make sure it is the best. I understand that whatever system I have and whatever you guys are teaching me now, it is something that I will constantly have to revise because things change. I change. You think differently. Clients might think differently. You get different input. So things are constantly changing, and that's actually pretty exciting. I've got actually two things that really stood out for me in the time up till now. The first thing I must say is course-wise, what I learned from you in controlling the finances and how to look at your finances. I have always done it basically understanding what you were explaining to us in your material that you provide. However, the method in doing it is much more sensible. It makes a lot more sense in the way that you suggest that we do it, and the spreadsheets and things that you've drawn up. That is definitely a plus point. The marketing, to me, altogether, the way that you've broken it down and you're taking the guys forward in it, it makes a lot more sense to me, and I can I'm beginning to understand. And I'm only saying this because, as I said before, I'm not good at marketing or sales. It's not. It is. If I have to list on things that I can do, if my list is 1 to 100, I would list it at number 110. So it's completely off my radar. So to me, this is a massive learning curve. The other thing is, I've in the past, what I was searching for all of this, for more information and how to grow my business, I did pick up a lot of guys that were talking about getting a mentor. And I go, why in the heck should I do that? I mean, I've basically put myself through university without attending one class. I can read, and if I can read, I can get the information myself. I don't need anybody to talk to. I can do it myself. But at some point, I don't know why, I just thought, well, just give it a go. And to be quite honest, I'm really pleased that I did make that decision. It does make a difference to talk to somebody, because in the end of the day, being a builder and you're in charge of your own company, there's not many other builders that you can go to and have let's have a discussion about this or that or the other thing that's regarding the building work. They might have a quick nonsensical conversation about, the council is this and the council is that, or what do you think of this new kind of skill saw out there? But you will not get the conversation that I can have with Andy at this stage, or the conversations that I can have with you. And that does make a big difference, because there's nobody else that you can test any any things that you want to think about or that you would like to implement or take. That is why coaching to me, I think that is something that you should really consider and keep in mind. I mean, if I have to or if I can, I'd love to, keep this conversation going for as long as I possibly can. The other advantage of a coach is basically the same advantages as when you go to university. And the sense is I can not go to university and I can start to experience life on my own or on the topic that I would like to know more of, and it can take me a lifetime. Or I can go to university and there's somebody there with all the books and all the knowledge that can explain to me the stuff, and I can have it all done in 3 years and I can start my journey from there on forward. I don't have to experience our life before I can start to experience the new stuff. In that sense, I mean, you guys talk to a lot of builders. You obviously have a lot of input from all different sides. You can see where guys are falling and where they're running. And I can see that you guys are sharing that type of information. You're not getting personal. I'm not getting any confidential information. But you definitely, the guys are guiding. Like Sky and Russ. I mean, the informations that they also share, even in their little classes and things that they present. Some of that stuff is only 10 to 5 minutes long, but it's brilliant stuff. It's really, really good stuff. And I'm really grateful for that. Actually, your whole financial package, if I look at like the WIPA, the pricing for profit, the way that I record all my, in the KPI spreadsheet, that is a really impressive piece of work that you guys have put together there. As I said before, I in the past, I have done all the things that you've been talking about. I just never had it organized in the way that you guys do, and that you can see the link from the one to the other. And that makes a lot more sense, and I can understand, especially because I'm really keen to see how big I can grow my business. And one of the things that did bug me was, or bother me was, okay, I want to grow my business, but when can I afford to employ the next person? Whether it's an admin line or it's on the front there swinging the hammer or whatever the case may be. And I feel that with information and the way that we've got it structured now, I can see where where the information is going to come from. And I will have the confidence to say, listen, it is now time to appoint somebody new to do this or to do that. It just depends on where the bottleneck would be. And the other thing that I really see in that is not only will I be able to know when I can appoint it, but I will have enough work for that person. So it's not just I'm going to hire you for a week and I'm going to fire you 3 days later. I don't want to do that. So if I want to appoint somebody, I want to make sure it can be a long-term appointment, and it's not just a fly-by-night exercise. And that to me is crucial, because I do not like things that's like a shack, just sort of leaning against each other, and hopefully the wind is not going to blow. And then one day the wind does blow and everything is gone and you're down in the mud again. And, yes, you can stand up, but you can only stand up so much before the community starts to realize, well, that guy's a born loser, mate. Do not deal with him. You're not going to get anywhere. The biggest benefits that I see that I will get out of APB is obviously the one word that will definitely sum it up is professional. And that is what I absolutely want to be. I'm really doing a lot of stuff to be seen as a professional. And I start that with, the moment that you start with your CRMs that I've got through Acris, right till the very end when we get down to the stage where we get referrals from the client. And even, like 1, 2, 3 years after I've had the people as a client, is to keep on constantly contacting them. But when they hear from us, they must get a smile on their face and, those guys, they were great. I love to talk to them, even if it's just to say, hi, how are you? And everything in between needs to be done in a professional way. There needs to be proper systems in place. Myself and everybody that works with me and everybody that's my clients, they all need to lift up their heads high and say, well, we dealt with that guy. We're happy to deal with him. And this is a quality that is given us. And I want to feel the same from my side. If I see my clients on the sidewalk on the weekend, I don't want to dodge behind the lamppost. The number one thing I want them to say from me is I'm honest and I'm a straight shooter. I honestly do not have the time and the effort or the energy to take corners or to bullshit people. I can't do that. I'm not good at it. I don't like doing it. And one thing that I did learn in the industry early on here is there's a lot of people, a lot of the builders said to me, well, two phrases I heard. And it's two phrases I'm always trying to get rid of. The one is, you have to be cunning. And to me, cunning means I'm not being honest. So whatever I do not want to be cunning. The other expression they used was, only the spiders will know. Well, really, wow. I cannot, for the love of me, understand if I'm taking people's, one of their biggest investment that they have, that they're going to make, and I bought with the attitude of being cunning and only the spiders will know. I mean, I'm really, really stealing so much from that people. It is unbelievable. I cannot understand how you can sleep at night if that is your way that you want to think about building, and if that's your mentality that you start to speak to people and get it done. The other thing that I do find highly annoying, and we have a lot of issues on that in the industry on this side, is that people go in and give a cheap quote so that they can get the work. And unfortunately, people are being people. They all work hard for their money, and they're trying to stretch their dollar as far as they possibly can. In the end of the day, it will bite them in the bum. But at the time when they make that decision to push the button, they don't think that it is ever going to happen to them. Because, I mean, that's human nature. But those are the things that I've decided on right in the beginning is I will give a fair price. I will do it honestly, and I will tell my clients up straight, this is what is going to happen. If I scare them away to go and build with somebody else, that's fine. Don't do that. But I'm not going to tell you something that you want to hear, and then down the line, turn around and say, listen, actually, it didn't work like that. It actually works like this. Or like the politicians would say, I was taken out of context when we initially met. You know, I actually meant this and not that. I'm not that. To provide your clients a good experience will be, I think, to me, as crucial as honesty and being straightforward and upfront about what things are going to be. And combine that with good communication. I believe that sometimes I'm just way too honest. My wife always tells me off that I'm saying things I shouldn't call a spade exactly a spade. But I mean, those are things, yes, I'm trying to get that sorted out, but that's a completely different chapter. But I honestly believe that we should when we deal with our clients and with the systems that you guys are providing, it makes it easier for somebody like me to talk to a client and say the things that really does matter to them and that they should hear. And I feel then with the courses, you know, the smaller ones that we do with you and even your big mentoring stuff, it is all helping. So that I can, in a professional way, communicate with the client and not exactly calling a spade in the direct sense, but I can show them, guide them so that they can really see and understand how things are going to pan out for them. The way that I'm trying to build up the system to prove to the clients that they are dealing with an honest and upfront professional builder. Well, it's basically starts off with the meeting process. Where you pick up your lead from. Once again, you guys have provided me with systems and methods of doing it. I mean, you start off with how do you generate leads? How do you follow up on them? How do you qualify your clients? And the way that you guys have presented that kind of information has helped me sort of. You know, you build yourself up little systems, you create checklists. Basically, you start really thinking of how you can systemize your building. Because there's one thing being a builder, and a builder, you know, you build things and that's the end of the story. But if you're really building your business, you actually need to understand the thing the same way that you would try to build effectively. You need to apply that same concept in your business, and that is, whenever you build something on a building site, you try to systemize whatever you're doing so that you can know whatever you're doing, you do it properly. And it's the same with your business. You need to have that same system mentality. And actually, it's not even just in the building industry. I mean, every other business out there, big military forces in the world, big governments in the world, everybody works on systems. So yes, we need to have systems in place. And where you guys are coming in greatly is with your experience and the clients that you've helped out. You have sorted out most of the, 100% of the fluff. I'd say, no, I'll make it 99%. I'll give you some 1% work still to do. But you've already started generating systems that we can copycat, and we can improvise and make them a bit better, or make them custom to our businesses, so that it works the way that we feel comfortable in working with it. That is something that's crucial, because once again, I don't have to think about the system. I've got one that you guys have suggested. I can customize it so it fits into my business. And that's the beauty of what you guys are providing. Personally, I think, Alex, I don't want to knock the guy down that I've seen in the past. He's really been good to me, and he's a really nice person. And I think what he's doing is also good, because he's also, in his effort, he's also trying to uplift the builders community to being on a professional level. And you got to take your hat off for that. I mean, specifically in the environment where I'm operating, and when I go to the builders meetings and things like that, you really still see people, wonder where did they come from and where they're supposed to go, because I can't see anything. But anyway, but then if I compare your information and the way that you guys work, I can see there's a lot more depth in there. There's a lot more of preparation has gone into it, a lot more thought has gone into it. And the other thing, I know you always on about you need to attend the meetings online when we're online, as everybody being there, which is great. But for me, as a small builder at this stage, the fact that I can go online at any hour of the day, and trust me, I do all sorts of funny hours. I can listen to your stuff, I can think about it, and I can go and rewind and re-listen to it again, or play it again, or view it again, or whatever I want to do with it. It's 24/7 available, and that to me is massive. Because, I mean, my head's always busy, and I always think of something new, and then I go, okay, I've heard something there with APB, let's go and just revise on that again, and I move on from there then. So it is really, really one of your biggest assets, is the fact that your stuff is online, and I can go and visit it whenever I want to, and I can, adjust or do whatever I want me to do with that information. And it is really, really a game changer for me. The fact that it is available, and that all your meetings and things are recorded. And even though I can't get to it on the time that I would like to, I can still get to it. And that to me is very important. I must say, something that has given me great comfort is your financial bit, the WIPA and the pricing for profit and all that. I'm really, that has put me, my financial brain in a happy place. I'm happy for that. My marketing brain is still sweating it out, and I'm burning my brains every day when I start to think about it. Honestly, I've written so many elevator pitches and USPs and UVPs and all that funny things you've got, and I just keep on throwing them in a waste paper basket. but it's getting there. I've done some of the stuff that I think is doable to work with, and Andy has seen it. I don't know what he's saying behind my back about it, but yeah, we're getting there. And I've certainly, with the marketing stuff, I've grown a lot, but I've got a hell of a long way ahead to go with it. Just honestly, Alex, your whole team, and even Mr. Owen that's sitting there on the side there, that's part of you but not part of you, from Acres, you guys are great, and I really appreciate all the work that you do and the information that you do have available. I used to be in the military, and one day I convinced myself to buy myself a down sleeping bag, and I paid quite a lot of money for it. And then one night it was really, really cold, and I slept in that bag, and I thought, well, that was the best money I've spent in my life. And yeah, the moment that you start to realize that quality, in the beginning it might look expensive, but in the end, when you feel the results, you see the results, you grow more comfortable in what you do, you're more secure in what you do. It's definitely worth it. And yeah, honestly, thank you for your input, and thank you for the work that you guys are doing, all of you. It's great stuff. I really appreciate that. Thank you.